Imagine, if you will, a warship vanishing into thin air, only to reappear with tales of crew members fused to its metal structures. A narrative so bewildering it seems ripped from the pages of science fiction. This is the story of the Philadelphia experiment, a tale so shrouded in mystery and controversy it has become a perfect embodiment of the conspiracy theory genre. The question remains, was it merely an elaborate hoax, or was there truth to the rumors of this top-secret naval experiment? This essay delves deep into the heart of the enigma, exploring the layers of truth and fiction that have captivated scholars, conspiracy theorists, and skeptics alike. The Philadelphia experiment, allegedly conducted in October 1943, has become one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century. According to popular lore, the U.S. Navy destroyer escort USS Eldridge was rendered invisible to enemy devices. The story, despite its fantastic elements, has persisted over decades, fueled by a mix of declassified documents, eyewitness accounts, and outright fabrications. As with many conspiracy theories, the Philadelphia experiment has both believers and skeptics. The initial intrigue was sparked by a combination of world events and scientific advancements, creating a perfect storm for legends of this nature to flourish. This introduction sets the stage for a journey into one of the most intriguing military tales of the modern age. The ensuing sections will unravel the layers of this complex story, aiming to separate fact from fiction and perhaps uncover the truth hidden beneath decades of speculation and mystery. The 1940s were a time of intense innovation and desperate measures as the world was embroiled in the throes of World War II. The United States, like other nations, was pushing the boundaries of technology, seeking any advantage that could be leveraged in warfare. In this climate of heightened innovation and secrecy, projects like the Manhattan Project and other less-known experiments were born. The Manhattan Project was a highly secretive and monumental research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. Initiated by the United States with support from the United Kingdom and Canada, the project marked a significant turning point in military history and the eventual conclusion of the war. The naval technology of the time was particularly focused on radar and sonar technology, seeking ways to make ships less detectable and more effective in combat. It was within this context that the story of the Philadelphia experiment took root, claiming that the U.S. Navy had discovered a way to make a ship invisible to radar, and according to some accounts, to the naked eye as well. The technological ambitions of the era were not just products of war but also of the human desire to push the limits of what was scientifically possible. This part of the essay explores the technological landscape of the 1940s and sets the stage for understanding the plausibility of the Philadelphia experiment. On a seemingly ordinary day in October 1943, the USS Eldridge, a Cannon-class destroyer escort, was claimed to have been rendered invisible as part of a secret experiment at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. According to popular accounts, the experiment was aimed at applying Einstein's unified field theory to cloak the ship from enemy devices, an ambitious application of theoretical physics to military technology. The process involved generating an electromagnetic field that was supposed to bend light around the ship, a concept similar to what we now discuss in the context of cloaking devices and stealth technology. However, the experiment allegedly went awry, and the ship not only vanished from Philadelphia but purportedly appeared briefly in Norfolk, Virginia before reappearing back in Philadelphia. The detailed description of the events raises numerous scientific questions and skepticism. This section delves into the mechanics of what was claimed, examining the theoretical underpinnings and the practical execution of such an experiment, and why it captivates so many to this day. Eyewitness accounts form the bedrock of the Philadelphia experiment lore. One of the most cited sources is a man known as Carlos Allende, who claimed to have witnessed the USS Eldridge's disappearance from another ship, the SS Andrew Furuseth. Allende's descriptions, found in letters sent to a noted author and astronomist, Morris K. Jessup, were fantastical, featuring descriptions of sailors who became invisible or partially fused to the ship upon reappearing. However, the credibility of these accounts is hotly debated. No official log from the SS Andrew Furuseth mentions such an event, nor do other supposed witnesses corroborate Allende's claims consistently. This part of the essay examines these eyewitness accounts, evaluating their reliability and how they have influenced the overall narrative of the Philadelphia experiment. Examining the psychological and contextual factors that might influence these testimonies is crucial. This analysis provides insight into how personal experiences and the human memory can be affected by high-stress situations, potentially leading to exaggerated or false memories. From a scientific standpoint, the claims surrounding the Philadelphia experiment teeter on the brink of implausibility. Mainstream scientists and experts in the fields of physics and engineering argue that the technological feats described in the experiment are far beyond the capabilities of the 1940s and remain so even today. This section involves consulting with physicists about the possibility of using electromagnetic fields to achieve invisibility. The consensus suggests that while electromagnetic fields can influence light, completely cloaking a large object like a naval ship involves principles that defy known laws of physics. Furthermore, Einstein's unified field theory, often cited in the experiment's descriptions, remains an unproven and largely speculative framework. Analyzing the scientific feasibility of the claims not only sheds light on the technological aspects, but also emphasizes the importance of scientific literacy in evaluating extraordinary claims. The story of the Philadelphia experiment has been a staple in the world of conspiracy theories and paranormal phenomena, largely propelled by its coverage in books, television specials, and films. The narrative has been dramatized and sensationalized, often overlooking factual inconsistencies for the sake of a good story. This part explores how media representations have shaped public perception of the event. It includes a discussion on the role of sensational journalism and entertainment in perpetuating myths. By examining the discrepancies between documented facts and their portrayals in media, this section highlights the impact of storytelling in shaping historical events. The influence of these media portrayals on public opinion is profound, demonstrating how easily truth can become entangled with fiction in the collective consciousness. The U.S. Navy has officially denied that the Philadelphia experiment ever occurred, stating that no experiments were conducted on the USS Eldridge or any other ship regarding invisibility or teleportation. Over the years, several documents have been declassified that pertain to naval experiments during the 1940s, but none corroborate the story of the Philadelphia experiment. This section delves into the government's official statements and examines the declassified documents to uncover any potential evidence of the experiment. It also discusses the Freedom of Information Act requests that have been filed in search of more information, and what these documents reveal about the government's wartime activities. The examination of these official and declassified sources is critical in juxtaposing the claims of conspiracy theorists with the available evidence, providing a clearer picture of the government's role during this period. The Philadelphia experiment has spawned numerous conspiracy theories, ranging from cover-ups to collaborations with extraterrestrial beings. Each theory adds a layer of intrigue and complexity to the original narrative, reflecting broader societal mistrust in governmental transparency and accountability. This part analyzes various conspiracy theories, examining their origins and why they persist despite lack of concrete evidence. It also explores alternate explanations for the origins of the story, including the possibility that it was a misunderstanding or misinterpretation of wartime events, or even a deliberate hoax. Understanding these theories is essential for comprehending the cultural and psychological factors that fuel such enduring myths. It also serves as a case study in how conspiracy theories can evolve and influence public perception over time. The alleged participants of the Philadelphia experiment, mostly naval personnel, reportedly suffered severe psychological and physical repercussions. Tales of ongoing mental health issues, phasing where individuals would fade in and out of visibility, and even more tragic fates like spontaneous combustion have been part of the lore. This section delves into the personal stories of those who were supposedly involved in the experiment. It examines the veracity of these claims and considers the impact that such a traumatic event would have on individuals, whether real or fabricated. The personal narratives add a human element to the story, emphasizing the profound effects that such military experiments, whether factual or fictional, can have on individuals. It also explores the ethical considerations surrounding the treatment of military personnel in experimental scenarios. The Philadelphia experiment is not an isolated case when it comes to controversial military testing. This part compares it to other well-documented military experiments such as the Tuskegee Study and MK Ultra, which have been acknowledged and substantiated by official sources. The syphilis study aimed to observe the natural progression of untreated syphilis in African American men under the guise of receiving free health care from the U.S. government. Public Health Service, including Dr. John Charles Cutler with cooperation from Guatemalan authorities, over 1,300 Guatemalans, including prisoners, soldiers, and psychiatric patients, were enrolled in the program. The study aimed to test the effectiveness of penicillin in treating syphilis and other sexually transmitted infections. Men were recruited under the false pretense of being treated for bad blood, a local term that referred to various ailments including syphilis, anemia, and fatigue. Participants were promised free medical exams, meals, and burial insurance. Deception and withholding treatment. Researchers deliberately infected participants with syphilis, gonorrhea, and chancroid without informed consent. Methods of infection included inoculation and facilitated transmission through sexual contact. Many participants suffered severe health complications, and at least 128 men died directly from syphilis or related complications. The study also led to infection in wives and congenital syphilis in children born to some of the participants. The study was exposed in 1972 by Peter Buxton, a PHS venereal disease investigator. Public outrage led to the study's termination, and a class action lawsuit resulted in a $10 million settlement for the victims and their families. In 1997, President Bill Clinton formally apologized on behalf of the U.S. government. Project MK-Ultra was a covert research program run by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, aimed at developing mind control techniques and exploring the potential for manipulating human behavior through various means, including drugs, hypnosis, and psychological torture. The program, which began in the early 1950s and continued until the early 1970s, is notorious for its unethical practices and the severe harm it inflicted on many unwitting participants. Project MK-Ultra was officially sanctioned in 1953 by then CIA Director Allen Dulles. The program was overseen by the CIA's Technical Services Division, with Dr. Sidney Gottlieb serving as its chief. The primary goal was to develop techniques and substances that could control human behavior. Researchers explored methods to manipulate mental states, enhance interrogation techniques, and create amnesia or confusion. Extensive experimentation was conducted with various drugs, most notably LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide. Other substances included barbiturates, amphetamines, mescaline, psilocybin, and more. Techniques investigated included hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of psychological manipulation. LSD was administered to thousands of subjects, often without their consent or knowledge. The drug was tested on CIA employees, military personnel, doctors, patients, and the general public to observe its effects on the mind. In one sub-project known as Operation Midnight Climax, CIA operatives set up brothels in San Francisco and New York City. Unwitting men were lured to these locations, secretly given LSD, and their behavior was observed through one-way mirrors. Some experiments involved severe psychological and physical abuse to study breakdowns under extreme stress. Participants were often subjected to prolonged sensory deprivation and exposure to high doses of psychoactive drugs. MK-Ultra was first brought to public attention in 1975 through investigations by the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission. These congressional investigations revealed the program's extensive scope and unethical practices. In 1973, then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all MK-Ultra records. As a result, much of what is known about the program comes from testimonies and a small number of surviving documents. Numerous lawsuits were filed by victims and their families, leading to settlements and public apologies. The revelations of MK-Ultra prompted significant reforms in U.S. intelligence operations and human subject research ethics. The abuses of MK-Ultra led to stricter ethical standards and oversight for research involving human subjects. The Belmont Report, 1979, established principles of respect for persons, beneficence, and justice in research. MK-Ultra has become a symbol of government overreach and the potential dangers of unrestrained scientific experimentation. The program has been referenced in numerous books, movies, and television shows, often as a cautionary tale of the misuse of science and power. Project MK-Ultra remains one of the most infamous examples of unethical scientific experimentation in history. The program's secretive and coercive methods inflicted severe harm on countless individuals and violated fundamental human rights. The legacy of MK Ultra has had a lasting impact on research ethics, leading to greater protections for human subjects and heightened awareness of the ethical responsibilities of scientists and government agencies. This comparison provides a broader context for understanding military ethics and secrecy. It also helps to distinguish between verified events and those shrouded in conspiracy and myth. By examining these parallels, the essay highlights the challenges in discerning truth in military history, especially when faced with classified information. This comparative analysis underscores the importance of ethical considerations in military experiments and the long-term consequences of these projects on public trust and military personnel. In a world brimming with information and misinformation alike, the role of skepticism and critical thinking becomes paramount. The story of the Philadelphia experiment serves as an exemplary case for the necessity of questioning and critically evaluating historical claims before accepting them as fact. This section discusses the importance of a skeptical approach when confronted with extraordinary claims. It provides strategies for critical thinking, such as checking sources, looking for corroborating evidence, and examining potential biases in the presentation of information. Cultivating these skills is essential, not only for academic purposes, but also for navigating everyday life in a highly information-saturated world. This part of the essay empowers readers to apply these critical thinking skills more broadly, enhancing their ability to discern truth from fiction in all areas of life. As we reach the conclusion of our inquiry into the Philadelphia experiment, it becomes clear that the line between myth and truth is often blurred. The investigation reveals a complex interplay of fact, fiction, and embellishment, with each element feeding into the enduring mystery of the experiment. This concluding section summarizes the findings of the essay, reflecting on the nature of the Philadelphia experiment as a cultural and historical phenomenon. It posits that while the experiment likely did not occur in the manner described by popular lore, the discussions it has sparked are valuable in their own right, fostering a deeper understanding of science, history, and the impact of military secrecy. The final thoughts consider the broader implications of the Philadelphia experiment story for society, highlighting the ongoing relevance of such tales in understanding the past and shaping perspectives on technology and ethics in the present.